Mic is recording, the focus is on my face. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the podcast number 6, and as you can see, we still don't have a guest, but I'm here. So today we'll be very briefly, we'll be talking about content creation, aka the new currency. So first of all, a brotherly advice: if you're not a content creator, just turn everything off. Just delete them. Only use WhatsApp just to chat with your family and friends. Other than that, just turn it off. Just go on the outside world and experience and do adventures. Do not use social media. And if you are a creator, just post and get out. But I'm pretty sure you're not gonna take this advice. I'm pretty sure you'll ignore this. But if you take this advice, you don't need to listen to this podcast anymore. Just turn it off and delete the app. And if you're not going to take that advice, at least the rest of the podcast, you'll be aware of what content creation can actually do to your life. So you could at least be cautious when you're using it. So we live in a very strange time. This era in history is very weird. A person with a phone in a basement with a internet connection can reach more people than a whole industry of television could do 20 years ago. Now, 20 years is not that much of a time for such big difference. But here we are. Now, why is it bad? See, the human nature is that majority of humans are followers. So whenever the minority, when they say something, the people who are in the power or who have some influence, whenever they say something, it becomes an instant truth to the rest of the people. They just follow it. They just don't care what they say. They don't think twice about it, or they just don't care who they really are, what they have actually done. As long as they have an influence, as long as they have sang a few songs, if they have played a few roles in a movie, when they say something, the rest of the people who actually like their songs or their movies, they start following whatever they say about finances, if they say something about relationship, if they say something about lifestyle, if they say something about how you should be wearing your clothes, just instant follow. Now, back 20 years ago, it was just television. Before that, it was just newspaper. And right now, it's social media. And the difference is it was not as broad as it is right now. Because right now, everyone can have an opinion. Everyone can say something. Everyone can then just explain that thing. It seems like a fact. And people who are their followers, people who admire them for any of their things, they just start following whatever they say, which is a bad thing, which is not a good thing. You should be careful, think twice whatever you do. But also the people that we admire, the people that we follow can also give us good products and good services and good lifestyle and good beliefs, which could be very good for our lives. Similarly, they can also give you bad products, they can also give you bad services, they can also give you bad life advices that can ruin your life. In my personal opinion, the bad side, it supersedes the good side, meaning that the consequences from the bad parts can result in a very bad life that it cannot be changed, because when time goes by, when you have already spent 10 years believing something, now you cannot get that 10 years back. So that's why I say the bad overweights the good. The difference between previous history and right now is that the scale is very high. It's very hard to know which one is good, which one is bad, who to listen, who not to listen. The bad thing that these content creators do is that sometimes they take a very small portion of a very long video and they present it in a way, they edit that video in a way, in a very short form, like 8-10 seconds, to portray a very different meaning there was supposed to be. So let me make this clear what I'm trying to say. There is, I hope you know the singer Cher. She has very nice songs. I really like her songs. There was an interview of her when she was asked that, are men important? And she says, like, for what? And that very little content, that few seconds of content have had billions of views. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is what effect it had on the people who were listening. That few seconds of content that was put on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, where people saw that and they believed that she was making fun of men, and it made a generation of women hating men and believing that men are not important. And it's also made a generation of men hating this idea that when a woman said that men are not important, that they started debating that if men are not important, why is she using the mic that has been produced by men? This debate has become so big and is still going on about that. Just because of a fucker who took this 10 seconds and presented as a piece of content that would go viral. Now, remember, something has to be very good or something has to be very bad for it to go viral. Normal things very rarely go viral. So, like news, like the mainstream media, They have to always present you with the good news, the very good news, or with the bad news. The normal life didn't really much care. So for these content creators to go viral with their pages, they have to make these videos in a good way or in a bad way. So they just turn the meaning around. And what effects it would have on people or the people who are following, they don't really care. It just doesn't matter to them. That's harsh truth. Now we can also be saying that, okay, they should be caring. Like, you cannot change people, you cannot change human behavior. They just want something and they're gonna get it. It doesn't matter who suffers in the way. And we cannot change the whole world, make them all like a euphoria, everyone a nice person. So that's just not reality. So you have to be careful so you don't believe those things. So since we are on the sheer topic here, let me show you the full video so you could also, I'm pretty sure you didn't also know that. So now you would know what that interview actually was. So here is the video.
Do you think men are important? Like for what?
Do we need men? See if I can run this back into the tape of my mind.
That's not what you said. You said, how do you feel about men? Are men important? Are men important?
Yeah, you said for what?
Okay.
And I said, well, like, would you need one would you need to marry at this stage of your life? Would that be something to do?
Well, I mean, it's not that I wouldn't want to do that. If I met the right man, I would certainly entertain the idea. I like men a lot. I mean, I have nothing against them. I think they're great. You know, I think that, this is going to get me in trouble with all the women, but I think that women make unreasonable demands on men, and they don't make reasonable demands of themselves.
What's that mean?
Because I think women have the capability to do everything that they want to do, anything that they want to do, and it's easier to try to
get it out of a guy.
And I just,
I'm pretty sure it's the first time for most of you to see the whole interview. You know, even I started to hate her before I knew what she was saying. I started instant hating because what she says is utter bullshit. Obviously, like, everyone in the audience, the men who are sitting, they know that, and everyone, the reason it's become so big debate is because it's not truth. Otherwise, if it was a truth, then it wouldn't be a debate. They would just say, okay, well, we didn't know that till now, thank you for letting us know. But the reason it's become such a big debate, the reason it's become such a big hate, is because it's not true. So the point is that, as you can see in the video, she doesn't mean it in that way that it has been portrayed to all of us. What she's simply saying that to survive, all you need is food, water, and shelter, which you can get on yourself. If anything, she's just making women responsible. She's putting them responsible for their over demands over men. Now, this is a whole nother story that even that I'm against, but that's not a point I'm making here. The point I'm making here is the manipulation of a piece of content.
Do you think men are important?
like for what?
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Now, if there was a thermometer to calculate how much effect that little piece of content had in so many people's life, I'm pretty sure it'd be massive impact. Now, this is also a whole nother topic, that a singer's advice, should it also be applied to a normal woman's life, or to a woman who are just working for a minimum wage? Should they have the same identity? Should they have the same lifestyle? Now, that which we will not go into today, just because it's about content creation. But since I'm the guest today, I'm also the host and I'm also the guest, so I'll tell you my opinion about this whole idea. I'm very much against it. I'm an old-fashioned person. I think men should be providing for women all the time. They shouldn't be needing to work. It's a man's duty to provide for a woman, to take care of them, to take care of their whole family. It was weak men who came up with this idea that women should also be working, because they couldn't provide for them, because they were weak, they were lazy, so they couldn't bear the fact that they're pieces of shit. They just came out with an idea that, okay, women are also capable of doing stuff, so they should also be doing, and we should just be sitting at home watching TV, and they should be working for themselves. It's not our responsibility to take care of them. And look what it has gotten us into. Now, this is my personal opinion. This is how I choose to live my life. Now, if you have a problem with that, buddy, that's your problem. So back to the topic. So in that video, all Sheer was talking about is for you to survive, very specifically, survive, you don't need men. But the content was misinterpreted in a very bad way. And some people took that advice a bit too much into heart, a bit too seriously, that they even started to live alone. Their whole life they spent to live in a corner just to prove that they don't really need anyone, to prove to the world and keep bragging about it, that we don't really need anyone, we can provide for our own self. But first of all, how stupid do you have to be to not know that already in the first place? I mean, obviously, all you need is food, water, oxygen, shelter, and then you will probably live to be 100. But what a way to live. Whole life wasted just to feed an ego that wasn't even yours to begin with. It was not even true. It was interpreted in the wrong way. Like going on a vacation, having a fight with your sibling, with your partner, with your parents, and then spending the whole vacation on two corners of the hotel, and before you know it, the vacation is over, then you go to home. Life is the same. Us humans are here in a vacation. Now how we choose to spend that, it is up to us. Now it can be ruined by content creation. This is the point I'm making today. Don't let your vacation be ruined. So many men, so many women are right now living in isolation just to prove the idea that they're all independent. And they're all frustrated. And here's why. Let me tell you why they're all frustrated. Now, not one of them are very much content with their lives. It's because humans, birds, wolves, it's in our nature to be in a society, to be in a community, to be in a pack. And to go against nature, it always has a bad consequences. When you're trying to be something that you're not programmed to be, it results into this inner conflict, which is also called the cognitive dissonance. Simply put, when your unconscious mind recognizes how full of shit your conscious mind is, there will be a conflict. Conscience being your chosen beliefs, your chosen identities, your chosen ideals. Unconscious being your emotional truth, your suppressed needs, your human instincts. And when they both conflict, it results into stress, into anxiety, into emptiness, and also into self-destructive behaviors. This results into using harmful substances, having bad behaviors, and eventually having a very frustrating life. All this because of a piece of content. Now, unfortunately, it's very hard for humans to admit when they're wrong, when they find out that this identity they have is a facade, that they've been following a wrong advice which has been ruining their life. Instead of just accepting it and facing it and coming out to people that whichever type of person that you've been thinking me right now, which the way I've been behaving was not correct. So right now I'm gonna change. But instead of that, they just want to keep that identity to show that, okay, I don't change, I stand on my own word, and then live their whole life with that facade. And which comes down to the beauty of freedom of choice. They just choose it that way to live a destructive life, or do whatever you wish to do. Just be aware that where is this behavior originated from, so you'd be at least a little careful, at least think twice before you make the decision. The power of content creation is very fascinating. 3 years ago, one of the videos on one of my Instagram pages went very viral. It was a 15-second cat video, and even the video wasn't mine. I just downloaded it from a person and just added some text and reposted it. And that got 80 million views, but I think 15 million likes. Now, Instagram didn't pay me a cent for that, but that's a whole nother discussion. The point I'm making is that one 15-second video with 18 million views equals to 333,000 hours of watch time, which is 38 years. Now imagine just one video that wasn't even mine took 38 years of life from people in this world. Now that was just one video. Now there are millions of videos. So imagine the scale of how much time have been spent on social media, and you think it's free. Now, before social media, the job was of TV shows, people would waste their time on it. And before TV, it was newspaper, but none of them, even combined, would come close to one Instagram page. So this is the levels that we're talking about. So you should know that how big of an effect it can have in a person's life. So let me tell you now, why is content creation important? Before I started content creating, I hated content creators. And for me to be the worst thing in life was to be a content creator. And then I found that it was not the content creation I hated, it was the people that I was watching create content, the wrong people that I was watching. That's why I hated content creation. Now remember, in social media algorithm right now, whatever you see is being shown to you more and more. Your feed get filled with those information. Now, it doesn't matter to the algorithm if you like that content or if you hate that content. As long as you watch it, that's all you're gonna get. You might hate this OnlyFans girls giving young girls advice how they should be living their life. You might also hate grown-up men acting like children. But if you watch those content, if you stop scrolling and complete that video, or even give a comment on it, even a hate comment, you'll keep getting those kind of content on your feed. There might be a lot of content in this world that are very good for you, that you would learn a lot from them, that you can be very creative with them, that you can increase your business activity with them, we can improve your business with them, but rather you're being shown these contents because this is what you watch. Instead of just whenever it comes, instead of saying just not interested, and your feed will be clean of it, you would just watch it and hate on it, and you'd be keep watching that. So this is the algorithm. It's not algorithm's fault. Algorithm is you. Whatever you watch, they show you. So don't be complaining about the algorithm is this, the algorithm is that. If you watch it, that's what you're being shown. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is you start to believe that. You see a few women acting like that and you believe the whole women right now in this generation are that way. You see a few men acting a certain way, then you believe that the whole generation of this men is done that way, which is not completely true. Most of the people are normal. So don't be building this hate inside of you because of a piece of content, of a piece of shit content creator who generalizes his opinion, doesn't say a person did this to me. They say the whole men are like this, or they would say the whole women are like this. And just like that, they put a hate inside of you, which then you would take out this hate on the people that you're surrounded with. Either women, men, black, white, pink, it doesn't matter. Unconsciously, you will have this belief. So first of all, try to ignore these people as much as you want. Second of all, when they come, just say not interested. And if you would watch that anyway, just think twice about it. Just use your own mind. Just look at the person, see how his life is or her life is, and then they take their advice. Don't be instant follower, be a student. A word from Jim Rohn, very, very effective. So, to become a content creator. See, content creation is not an overnight success. Now, before you lose your pants, I know there are some cases that a pretty girl went viral overnight and had millions and millions of views. It can happen, of course. This is a very good thing. It's a very good news for you if you're trying to start it. And if it hasn't happened, it's normal because it doesn't happen all the time. It's very, very rare cases. And in my opinion, it's even bad for you to happen like that because then you will not learn the skill. It would be just a luck. It would be just like a lottery. So you can treat content creation either as a lottery or as a skill. One way you will suffer a lot because you will be very frustrated because you will not win the lottery. It's against odds. It's 1 in trillions or millions, and one is skill that pretty much guarantees your success, because if you learn a good skill, then everyone will see it. The good news is right now the algorithm has changed. If you're watching this video right now in month of May 2026, I don't know if you'll be seeing this in 2030, might be different, but right now the algorithm is in a way that it doesn't matter how many followers you have. Before that, a few years ago, it was very important for you to have a lot of followers, for your content to have a lot of reach, to be shown to a lot of people. Right now it doesn't matter. You can have 20 followers and your content could go viral to millions of people. And it's a very good news. It means you can have a good skill and it can be presented to people a lot faster than it used to. The things that you have to learn for become a content creation, the first thing is of course, very important. Videography. You have to be very good at making videos. You have to be good at video editing, photos, photo editing, thumbnail, storytelling, coming up with ideas, coming up with topics, making scripts and things around that. And you can learn them as you go by. What I mean is keep posting and keep learning at the same time. Not that sit down and start studying, start watching podcasts, because that will not do much for you. Action is number one. And the good news is that you don't need to pay anyone to learn content creation, because everything right now is free, available for free. You can learn from a lot of people. A lot of people just share their advices about content creation. They just keep giving you juices on YouTube, on Instagram, and they tell you how to do it. Besides that, you also have your own eyes. You can see the people who are doing well and see what they're doing. and try to learn from them. Success leaves clues. Now let's talk about the business aspect of content creation. The good thing is this time is very easy for businesses to reach customers. And the worst part is that every knucklehead right now have business and they can interfere with the competition. And it becomes very costly for the customers until they find out the right product, because there are so many identicals. But the good news is once they find a good product from a company, they stick with them. And the bad companies with bad products can easily be exposed. So let me give you an example. This Rode pod mic, I'm very happy with it. Now, how did I find out about this podcast, about this pod mic? You guessed it, through their content. Now, I saw a lot of people, a lot of creators saying that they're very happy with this product, and I trust a few of them and I bought it and I'm happy with it too. Now, if they were sponsored and they were lying just because they were bought, that this mic is the best mic there is, and I would have believed them and I bought them, and I see that this mic is shit. So now this Rode would have a bad image. I would have a bad image of Rode, and also that content creator who was talking about the Rode, because obviously he was bought. If it was a good product, I would have been satisfied with it as well. So that means the good thing about content creation is that you can easily expose the liars. You can easily know that, okay, this pod might cost me like 150 euros to prove to me that I cannot trust this company with any other of their products, and also I cannot trust this content creator because he can easily be bought by anyone and can promote any product as long as you give him a few bucks. So this is also the positive side of content creation. Now, is this the best there is? Maybe not, but if there is a best one, they probably suck at content creation, otherwise I would have known about them. Now, that's not entirely true. There is one called Shure that Joe Rogan uses, but that was way too expensive for me to buy. But other than that, other than these two, maybe there are other mics that are very good that would have the same quality or maybe higher, but I don't know about them because they don't have any content about it, or I didn't see anyone because they're not that good. If they were, I would have known about them as well. They could have just targeted good creators who would talk about their products, who they could sponsor them, or they could have their own content creation. They could spread their awareness through the market and everyone would start buying that. So this is, my friend, the power of content creation. So how do you go viral? There are sayings by the OGs like Gary Vee, like Hormozy, like Grant Cardone, who say that you have to be posting 5 times a day to go very viral. Now, that is true, but that's not all true. That's not a concrete rule of content creation that you have to be posting this much times every day for you to go viral. That's not entirely true. So let me give you an example to prove this point. Gox, one of my favorite artists, he puts out one video in a month or in 2 months on YouTube, and he spends around 300 hours or a month in a single video that's around 10 to 12 minutes. Now, this is the amount of work he does to produce such kind of quality, and he also goes viral. He didn't post 5 times a day. In Instagram, if you see, he posts maybe 2 or 3 times in a month and puts out a few stories, and he still goes that much viral. Now remember, this does not mean that he's not consistent. Look at how much videos he's been posted, he had posts in YouTube, and how many posts he has on Instagram. Consistency is the key. Do not misunderstand what Gary Vee or Hormozy says. You cannot be putting 5 times a day and your content sucks and then you complain, why am I not going viral? It's because you also have to concentrate on the quality as well. Now, you can also produce once a day or maybe 2 or 3 times in a week, but if the quality of your content is so good, it can still reach the same level. But again, the algorithm, we never know what the algorithm is or how it is, because it's constantly changing and you can never know about that. It's just similarly to the way that Wolf of Wall Street, when he explains how the stock market works, it's a fugazi.
It's all a fugazi. You know what a fugazi is?
Fugazi, it's fake.
Yeah, fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
You can never understand what's going on there. All you have to do is do your work, and eventually it will produce a result. So as long as you know the general concept of going viral, of producing content, good content, targeting your audiences, that's all you need to know. And you have to be consistent to get that result. It's not, as I said before, it's not an overnight thing. And once you get the skill and once you learn this, how it works, then you can start anything, just like Mr. B says, he can start a YouTube channel from zero and he can make it very, very big. It's because he knows the game right now. You can never know the exact algorithm, but you can know how to play it. So with that, we'll wrap this podcast. In the next podcast, we'll hope we'll have a guest. If not, I'll still be here. So up until then, enjoy and don't kill spiders.